The average human being doesn't like to fail and would prefer things be great rather than imperfect. But if you suffer from fear of failure or are a perfectionist, this goes beyond the expected levels. So what is fear of failure? It might seem obvious, but underlying this fear is often the feeling of falling short and of not meeting demands or expectations. People who fear failure tend to hold the subconscious belief that failing leads to negative consequences, such as judgment, rejection, or disaster. They also overvalue the opinions of others and cannot handle setbacks well. As a coping mechanism, they might try to avoid situations that could lead to shame and humiliations altogether. And if the situation can't be avoided, there can be physical reactions like palpitations and sweating. Then what is perfectionism, and how does it differentiate from fear of failure? They overlap a bit, as perfectionists also overvalue what others might think, have difficulty handling setbacks, and avoid the risk of shame. But what makes it different is that perfectionists are motivated by a strive for flawlessness, rather than a fear of failure. Perfectionists tend to set ridiculously high standards, because perfect is impossible after all. There are 3 types of perfectionism. The first is self-oriented perfectionism. This means that you set unrealistic goals for yourself and are highly critical of yourself, to the point of being harsh. The second type is other-oriented perfectionism. Here, you have unrealistic expectations of others and critically evaluate or judge them if they don't meet those expectations. Lastly, we have socially prescribed perfectionism, which is feeling pressured by your environment to be perfect because others have high standards and expectations of you. Keep in mind that these standards aren't always real. Sometimes we just make wrong assumptions about what others think and want.